Welcome to the point of view. I'm your host, DDE8, aka Mike D, aka 13th Wonder of the World, Mike D. Happy Tuesday to everybody. I'm sorry I didn't come on yesterday, Monday. Kind of burnt out yesterday, but I'm here today, man. So I'm gonna talk to you guys for a few minutes. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reezy, M Breezy, Naya. My sister, I love all y'all. Thank y'all for joining the point of view on this Tuesday, which is Tuesday, June the 24th at 9:58 p.m. Excuse me, a.m. Sorry about that. 9:58 a.m. in 2025. I can't believe that we almost halfway through with the year, and it's going by fast. But neither here nor there. God bless you. God keep you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Here's what's cracking today on the point of view. Hopefully I won't be too long today, but I'm going to talk about it. Has Seth Rollins lost his mind, telling everybody they need to be under control and under what he's saying in WWE? Segue to the NBA Finals. Congratulations to the OKC Thunder. I didn't say it yesterday, but congratulations to them for winning the championship. SGA, the first player to ever be the season MVP, as well as the playoff MVP, as well as the scoring leader, and as well as the finals MVP. Is SGA the new face of the NBA? I'll have my opinion on that also. And where does the Houston Rockets size up now? A lot of people have been talking about this. My turn to talk about it. Is the Houston Rockets a NBA championship team? Or are they just going to be contending? Or are they going to really get to the point where they become the NBA champion? A lot more than that. Also talk about the Queen of the Ring and the King of the Ring tournament, which is coming up this weekend as well at the pay-per-view. What is happening with the women's tag team titles? The Intercontinental title match has been called off between AJ Styles and Dom Mysterio, and all of that and plus more. So let's get started. First, I want to talk about the WWE Raw show last night on Netflix. Absolutely a great show. We saw a lot of things happen on there. We saw a great match, but a sloppy match between Jade Cargill and Roxanne Perez. But in the end, Jade Cargill was able to bounce back and win the match. So it will be, like I said before, Jade Cargill versus Asuka at the Queen of the Ring tournament this coming Saturday in Jeddah. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeddah's pay-per-view Night of Champions, WWE Night of Champions, will be coming on early, around about 1 o'clock that Saturday. So also remember this, guys. Not on Saturday will it be on at 7. The replay will be on Saturday, but the live event will take place at 12 o'clock this coming Saturday. And I think that Jay's probably going to be the one to win. Don't be surprised if Asuka wins this match, because there's a little stuff going on between her and Io Sky, which I said from the beginning. I said it. What would happen if it beats Asuka versus Io Sky for the women's title at SummerSlam? That match could happen. Or we may see a dream match between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. That would be interesting. Don't forget Naomi's in the mix. What if Naomi cashes in on Io Sky? That could happen. There's a lot of great scenarios could go on with that as well. Also, Jey Uso loses to Cody Rhodes. So they're setting up the dream match between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Like I knew that was going to happen. And Cody's going to win, and Cody's going to fight John Cena for the title. Now, let's get back to Seth Rollins for a minute. The Oracle, whatever he calls his team, the Vision, whatever he calls his team. He is now in charge of the show, which is great, 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 great chemistry for television. But the thing about it is, how many more people he's going to get? Because he's got to multiply this thing just a little bit more. Because LA Knight's out. I think they wrote him off for a minute. I think LA Knight will be back. But when he comes back, he's going to want to fight Seth Rollins. What I think is going to happen, folks, and I want to say this, I think LA Knight is going to fight Seth Rollins either at Saturday night's main event or at SummerSlam. Unless LA Knight is legitimately injured, that match is going to take place either at Saturday night's main event next month, or it's going to take place at SummerSlam. And if I'm WWE, I make that match happen at SummerSlam, because Seth Rollins can lose that match and cash in the same night. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's how you do that. That's how you do that there, man. If you want to make an impact on something that big. But Seth Rollins wants everybody to listen to him. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I don't think he's going to cash in on Gunther. I think this would be a disservice to Cody Rhodes if Seth Rollins was to cash in on him. I think you have to figure this out, because who is going to fight Gunther at SummerSlam? I'll give you a prime. I'll give you one person I think will. That's Jey Uso. I think you have that rematch at SummerSlam between Jey Uso and Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. I think Gunther wins the title, loses the title to Jey Uso, and Seth Rollins cashes in on him. I don't think you have that match between Cody Rhodes. It would be crazy for WWE. It would be a great story, but I don't think you make that story with Seth and Cody fighting each other just yet. Now, if you want to pull the plug on it, you can. Roman Reigns is going to be back for SummerSlam. Watch what I tell you. The build-up for Roman Reigns to come back is going to happen at SummerSlam. I see so many scenarios here. LA Knight could go up against Seth Rollins at Saturday night's main event. Then you put Roman Reigns and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and a Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. One of the biggest tag matches at SummerSlam. That could possibly happen, folks. I think it would be better if they did that match at that SummerSlam, because it would be better and it would be a big, big thing. Because I don't think CM Punk is done with Seth Rollins. I think this is still going on. Drew McIntyre could possibly be back at SummerSlam. I think at the women's, and then I'll switch up and talk about the rest of Raw in my book. I think that if you're going to do that, because you have to figure out to put LA Knight in the ring against Seth Rollins, because he wants to fight Seth Rollins. I think you do that. You do that at either Saturday night's main event or at SummerSlam. Those are the next two big events that are happening, besides the NXT Great American Bash and also the Women's Evolution, which is, by the way, is starting to pick up some steam, guys. I think this is going to be interesting. Now, on to another story. Let's talk about the Women's Intercontinental title. Becky Lynch champion, Bayley a contender, and Lyra Valkyria the other contender. Making a triple threat match at Women's Evolution. You put those three in the ring, let them fight. Then after a while, you figure out, do you take the title off of Becky or do you keep it on her? It's a great thing because I really thought that Bayley would be one of the first women IC champions. And this is why I said I wish they wouldn't have gotten rid of Dakota Kai. Because this would be right up her alley to do this. But they let Dakota Kai walk. And so now you see what I've been saying about WWE sometimes messing around with the wrong talent. Look at what just happened. They make stars, but they break them. That's exactly what they did. So now you've got a veteran in Becky Lynch, a veteran in Bayley, and you also have a upstart in Lyra, who's a former, and all three of these girls are former. There are three things they've just won, except for Bayley. They are they've been the women's tag team champions. Becky Lynch has had the belt twice. That's one thing. They've all been NXT women's champions. All three of them. And besides Bayley, both Lyra and Becky Lynch has been the women's Intercontinental champion. So they have a lot, in common, except for Bayley not being the women's Intercontinental champion, which I think she will be sooner than what you think. It's interesting to see what all is going on here on Raw. Now let's talk about the other women's situation with Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Next week they're going to have a street fight between Rhea and Raquel. I said that Roxanne and Raquel would be probably the new tag team champions. Let me break something down to everybody what I think is going to happen here. I think at the Women's Evolution, if the Bella Twins are not going to go for those tag team titles against Raquel and Roxanne, because I think they're going to be the new women's tag team champions, I think you go with Rhea Ripley and Nikki Bella. If Brie Bella's not going to come back to wrestle, and there's reports saying that she's kind of banged up and injured. If that's true, then you go Rhea and Nikki Bella against Raquel and Roxanne for the women's tag team titles. That would make sense. I don't know where else to go. Gunther and Goldberg, interesting. Goldberg is really, really serious about this being his last match. I still don't think Goldberg's going to win, guys. I just don't think Goldberg is going to win. If Bill Goldberg wins the World Heavyweight title from Gunther, by the time Raw comes on either the next night or the week after, Bill Goldberg is going to lose that title. Or you put Bill Goldberg versus him at SummerSlam and Gunther wins the title, he gets cashed in on. There's so many possible scenarios that this can work, how this can work. But we'll have to see what they do when it does work, ladies and gentlemen. Penta got destroyed by Braun Breaker, man. I'll tell you this. Raw has been absolutely amazing. And this is the thing, guys. I'm going to say this. It's sticking to 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now, there's a talk that SmackDown is supposed to be going back to 2 hours either next month or August. I read that somewhere. I think it's next month, if I'm not mistaken, July. Let me say this. If I was WWE SmackDown, I would let the show stay on 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's that simple. Make it that long. Make it an extra 30 minutes. Netflix is doing the best they can by letting it stay on not over 3 hours. Unless it's a big show. Then they'll go 3 hours. I don't see it happening. I just don't see that right now. But I do see 2 hours and 30 minutes, yeah. Oh man. I'm a yield off the wrestling right now. And I'm gonna talk about the NBA. If you guys don't mind me talking about the NBA. And I'm also gonna talk about what's going on with the Chicago Sky, man. They are horrible this year. I don't know what else they need to do to this team. I think their Vandershoot is one of the reasons, and I'll get to that in a minute. Let me talk about the NBA. First of all, I want to say congratulations to the OKC Thunder for winning the championship. I said that Sunday that I had a gut feeling that the OKC Thunder was going to win Game 7. I told people this. I said it looked to me that the OKC Thunder, and I don't want to be one of those with the conspiracies and all that stuff, but they did not play up to par in Game 6. I don't know if they want to enjoy it better in their building or what. Rick Carlisle, before the game even started, he talking about how they had the parade buses already ready for OKC. I'm quite sure they had it in Indiana too as well. But for him to see that, it's conspiracy talk. Let me also talk about something else that happened. Tyrese Halliburton got injured. He was having a phenomenal game until he got injured. Now he's out. He's out with the torn ACL, if I'm not mistaken. Achilles injury. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never been one of those to have this thought about the NBA. But I'm about to have this talk about the NBA right now. And I want everybody to understand why I'm saying this. It's time for the NBA to shorten the season to 71 games. You have actually you have 4 of your top players in the NBA going to be out next season. Kyrie Irving is going to be out with a long-term injury. He's always been injury prone, but he was playing absolutely phenomenal this year with Dallas, even though they made the trade to get Luke out of there. Damian Lillard, who has been injured so much, he has a torn Achilles. He's out for next season. Not even playing. He's not going to even play this season coming up. Out of there. Jason Tatum hurt his Achilles in the playoffs. He's out for the season. Not playing at all. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy, man. And now Tyrese Halliburton hurt his Achilles in the NBA Finals. He's going to be out most of the season next season. Boston made a trade to get Anthony Simons, and sent Drew Holiday to Portland. Now I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this. Drew Holiday is a great player. He's a 2-time gold medalist. The NBA respects him. He's a 2-time NBA champion. Where he goes, he's very successful. Those years he had in New Orleans, they fit the bill for him. Now he's going to a young team that needs him. I think he's going to stay there. I don't think he's going to want to leave and go to any other team. If he goes to another team, it's going to be a contender. He's not going to stay there if he feels like he needs to leave. Boston has already made a great trade for Simons because they know that Simons can put up 20 points. He can work with Jaylen Brown. The Celtics are not trading guys. They're not through trading people. I think Porzingis is on the go. You got to figure out what you're going to do with Al Horford. You can keep Al Horford for a minimum. You've got to get rid of some of those guys that are on your bench. You've got to figure this out. If I'm the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, listen to what I'm finna tell you who I would not trade. Jaylen Brown is one person. No way they're gonna trade him. Derek White, no way I'm trading him. And Peyton Pritchard, I'm not trading him. Everybody else on the team, yes, get them out of there. But if I'm the Celtics, those three guys I'm not trading. Jaylen Brown's not going to get traded. I'm not trading Derek White, and I'm not trading Peyton Pritchard. There's no way I'm trading them. But here or there, Boston going to be revamped next season. But again, back to the OKC Thunder. Then I'm going to talk about the Pacers in a minute. OKC Thunder was destined to win the championship this year. They were destined to win the championship last year. They had a hiccup against Dallas, I think, or Minnesota. Dallas. And they were not able to get over the hump. This year, SGA got over the hump. Him and Jalen Williams are champions. Caruso has won 2 championships. Chet, Holmgren, Dort. Can you believe Lou Dort is an NBA champion? And I'll tell you like this here, and I know a lot of people don't understand this, but I'm going to tell you something. They are good enough to repeat again. They are good enough to win next season. I think they could be a back-to-back NBA champion next year. If they keep their foot on the gas and don't let up, they'll be back in the NBA Finals next year. Houston is not. I don't care what anybody. I heard somebody say that Dallas has a great opportunity to beat OKC. No. Not without Kyrie Irving. No. You're going to need Kyrie Irving to get the job done, man. It ain't going to happen. Not in my book. Now, they might shock me, but I just don't see it happening, man. The Houston Rockets are probably the closest team that could probably play against them right now. That's it. That's in my book. But SGA had a great season this year. As far as winning the NBA championship, being the playoff MVP, being the season MVP, winning the scoring title, he did everything he could do. He maximized his talent in the NBA. Great job by him. Great job by the OKC Thunder. They got their first championship in history, and they're still young, and they still can make moves. They got a bunch of young pieces that they can trade in anytime they want to bring in veterans. But also, he would have. Could you imagine if they would have won the in-cup tournament because they were in the finals? They got beat by the Bucks. But could you imagine if they would have won the in-season tournament, and he probably would have been the MVP of that, and he came up a little bit short in the Olympics. Other than that, he had a great season. This was his year. This was his season. Congratulations to SGA, man. I just want everybody to know that I'm happy for him. He got a championship. There's a lot of people that wish that they wouldn't have won, but I call it what it is. OKC right now, they're the best team in the NBA. They're the champions. And I don't care what anybody says, the better team won the playoffs, won the championship. As for Indiana, it's going to be tough without Halliburton. They're going to have to figure out a way to win without him. I know that for a fact that Siakam is going to be their bread and butter next season. If they can bring somebody in and tweak a little bit of something and try to do what they can do without Halliburton, then I don't know if he's going to be out for the whole season. But he's torn ACL. Usually when you have an ACL torn, I know about the part of the leg and the foot. When you have those injuries, it takes a long time to rebuild yourself to get back to that, man. It ain't no hop, jump, skip away. You cannot come back from that like that. Even in wrestling, Triple H tore his quads. He was out for a whole year. McMahon tore his. He came back in 6 months. When you usually have parts like that injured, it takes a while for you to come back, man. It's just it just happens that way. It ain't always you springing up. It's you springing down at times. But anyway, Halliburton, he's going to still be featured because he's going to be a part of WWE family. He's a part of the WWE 2K family. So we may see him when Raw, SmackDown comes to Indy. It's going to be interesting to see. This is going to be an interesting summer for the NBA, guys. There's decisions need to be made about a lot of things. Players. Kevin Durant has already made the move. As far as Drew Holiday, I was about to say Drew McIntyre, I'm sorry. Drew Holiday leaving the Celtics to go to Portland. We've already seen Dennis McBain get traded. We've seen KD get traded. Speaking of the Rockets, I'm going to say this one thing about it. I just got to see what happens when the season starts. A lot of people say that that's not enough to beat OKC. But I don't know, man. I don't know. They're going to be a fun team to watch. KD says he's going to sign a long-term, which will probably be a 2-year deal with Houston. He's probably going to retire as a Houston Rocket. I mean, it is what it is. Golden State's still going to be. Steph Curry is going to be. I'm quite sure he's going to be healthy next year to try to get the Warriors back to the promised land. LeBron and Luka. We're going to see what the Lakers need to make a whole do-over with their team. Now that they've got new ownership, they need to figure out what they need to do. The thing about it is the new ownership should go into the second apron and figure out who they're going to get to match up with LeBron and Luka. You only need this for one season. One season, man. That's it. Can you convince a star to come to the Lakers? If I was the Lakers and I'm trying to get Giannis, because there's no other team that Giannis would go to. If the Lakers called him and say, man, we're trying to pair you up with Luka and LeBron, Giannis, even though he doesn't like playing with other stars from what I've seen besides Damian Lillard, I would get on. I would say, man, who y'all got to move? No doubt about it. AR-15 would be in Miami. In Milwaukee, excuse me. Vanderbilt, he'd be gone. Vando will be gone. All the rest of those guys, gone. Lakers got to find a center. I think Jarvis Hayes is Jackson Hayes. I say Jarvis Hayes. I remember Jarvis Hayes played for the Wizards. But Jackson Hayes is going to be on the move. You got to figure this out, man. If I'm the Lakers, I need to try to get some guys in there. Brook Lopez. Could you make a move for Brook Lopez and Giannis for whoever you want on the Lakers? because LeBron and Luka's not going anywhere. Bronny's not going anywhere. The rest of the team is gone. If that, I'm just hypothetically thinking about what could happen if they really want to do it. Like I said before, the Lakers need a new star. They need a star on their team, man. They need another star to compete, man, with their Western Conference, man. Because believe it or not, the Clippers are going to be better next year. Believe it or not, and I'm saying this because this is true. The Clippers are going to be better. Golden State is going to be better. Minnesota, they've got to make some tweaks, but Minnesota's going to be in the mix. As much as I hate to say this, Dallas is going to be in the mix. The New Orleans Pelicans have got to figure out a way to do what they need to do to make their team better. Last year, they had a lot of injuries. That's what stopped the Pelicans from being a playoff team. The injuries killed them. Zion not playing too many back-to-back games. It was a lot. Philly, they need to figure out what they're going to do with Joel Embiid and Paul George. I know Paul George is probably going to stay there, but Joel Embiid, they need to do something about him, man. If I was the Lakers, I'd go for him. I would go for Joel Embiid. That's a center that can get me 20 and 10 a night and a couple of blocks. And he can shoot the three. But can he stay healthy? That's the thing. That's what you got to figure out. There's a team like the San Antonio Spurs back in 2005, 2003. When David Robinson was on his way out, they put a bunch of young and seasoned veterans with him. That's the reason why the Spurs were able to win that championship that year, because of what they had, the knowledge that they had on that team. When you go back to that 03 team, the role players they had, of course you had David Robinson, Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, of course, Steven Jackson, who was a role player. Who else you had out there? Steve Kerr, who can shoot the three. Who else you had out there? Bruce Bowen. Just veterans in the. Kevin Willis, who didn't play that much, but he played enough. But you had guys out there that had high IQs in the game. That's what the Lakers need right now, man. They need some seasoned veterans that can get them to the promised land. Mix it up with a bunch of young guys as well as some veteran guys. The way that they won the 2020 championship, that's the way they need to be thinking about winning next year with LeBron. You know that LeBron's on his way out. Help him get another championship. Help him get another championship like Kevin Willis got his championship in the last few years of his career. Help him win a championship like Havlicek did when the Celtics won another championship and he was on his way out. That's the way the NBA and the Lakers organization should do LeBron. And I'm not going to talk about LeBron because LeBron, you know, I heard about him talking about ring culture and all that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that at all. So I'm gonna let that ride right now in the wind. And well, we're going to see. Just stay tuned, folks, because we're going to see what's happening in these next couple of weeks and these next couple of months of how the NBA is going to be shaped up with the players, because there are going to be so many players on the move. You're going to see a lot on the move going on, and especially when free agent season really kicks off, and after this trade and after this draft, after this draft coming up in the next couple, you're going to see a lot. It is what it is. Switching gears to the Chicago Sky, and then I'm off of here. The Chicago Sky is one of the worst teams in the WNBA. I'm not going to talk about the Connecticut Suns because they're tough. They're not doing anything. And we know that the Dallas Stars are trying to, get Paige invested into what they're doing. Angel Reese, for the second year, is on a bad team. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way in the world that the WNBA trades the Baltimore Barbie from the Chicago Sky unless they're putting her in a big market city like a New York or like a LA or like a Vegas. If you're considering trading Angel Reese, you're crazy. Everybody knows Caitlin Clark is having a better season than her right now. But Angel Reese is a great rebounder. She rebounds the ball very well. She's starting to be a passer now. I'm starting to notice that she gets about 4 or 5 assists a game. That's good. That's good for her. But other than that, though, folks, guess where the mark is missing on this situation? The team is bad. And with Vandershoot being hurt, that's another problem. That's another issue that they're having right now with them. Because she is not a part of what they're doing right now. And this is why I said what I said a couple of weeks ago about why did you guys fire Teresa Weatherspoon? That was a great coach for Angel Reese. Angel Reese was doing great with her. It's tough. It's crazy, man. And they let her walk. They didn't let her walk. They fired her. It's crazy. But we'll see what happens, man. I'm just hoping that they can turn their season around, man. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they can. I'm just hoping for the best for them, folks. That's all I'm hoping for. The best with them. Hopefully the best with them. They can make something happen. Let me also say something else. Tonight is NXT. We do know now one of the matches is going to be Stacks versus Tony D for the Heritage Cup title. Noam Dar is injured, so he had to relinquish the cup. I'm going to say this one thing and then I'm going to get off here. Tony D is probably not going to win that cup back tonight. Stacks is probably going to win the Heritage Cup because you want to know why? He's the newest thing that's smoking on NXT. And what I mean by that is him as a heel is what they want right now. They don't want nobody that's not going to, because Tony D's already won that. Why would they give that back to him again? I keep telling you guys, it's time for him to go to the main roster. There's nothing else he can do on NXT. It's time for him to elevate and go up to the main roster. That's simple. It's that simple, folks. It is that simple for that to happen. Who knows? Hopefully that goes good. Hopefully everything goes straight. Hopefully everything goes, according to plan in the world of professional wrestling. Now, hopefully everything goes in plan according to our everyday living and our everyday lives. I want us all to remember, keep God first. Always pray, man. Pray. Even when times get hard, pray. When you're hurting, pray. When you're aching in pain, pray, man. Always think about something that God has done for you in a day. It don't have to be that big. It could be just the smaller things. Hey, I could have tripped over something, but thank God he let me made it. Oh, hey, man, he helped me get to my job and back home. Thank God I happily made it. Thank God I made it through the whole work shift. A lot of things, man. Maybe to pay my bills. Thank God for that. That's a side note, ladies and gentlemen. And with that being said, I'm off. I hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday. Enjoy the WNBA tonight. Enjoy NXT tonight. Enjoy Major League Baseball. I will be start looking at some baseball and start talking about baseball, man, as well. And start preparing ourselves for college football and the NFL. And for sure I'm going to leave now. And somebody asked me, what is Aaron Rodgers gonna do for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Now you know what the answer to that was? Nothing. They not gonna win no Super Bowl next year. Aaron Rodgers is not gonna win a Super Bowl. He might get them close in the playoffs, but they ain't gonna win no Super Bowl, man. I'm just telling you how it is. Even though they got Metcalf, I still don't see. If they would have had Pickens still there, then yeah, I would have said, okay, they might can make a little something happen. But they don't have Pickens no more. Dallas has Pickens. And I'm going to tell you like this here. Until Dallas stop Philadelphia, when it counts, they ain't going to do nothing. And you know when that is? When it comes down to them going to the Super Bowl. Next year is 30 years since they won a Super Bowl. Let's see if they can break that and get there. No. But anyway, guys, you guys have a great day. I love all y'all. Thank y'all. God bless you. God keep you.